Hi, I'm Sandra.
I'm Jane.
Welcome to Sister Sit Down.
Welcome to the new year. Happy 2025.
Guys, it is fully the new year.
It's been a whole 365 days since we saw you last.
We actually had to check ourselves.
Sorry.
We had to check ourselves because why did we start this and not keep up with anything at all?
And our last episode was one of the best.
We actually had to check ourselves. We said we did good and we literally left it there. That's insane. I don't even know what month that episode was.
It was January.
Stop.
It was January. It might have been February, actually.
Because
I had been at my new job for 1 week.
Oh,
1 week.
Suck. Okay. Yikes, we suck. Damn, that. I'm not supposed to be cursing on this.
Yeah, I'm cursing less now. So.
Channel, but that is
not our live audience.
I forgot if you say earlier. Producer John, or
our
not
dad
producer,
is right there.
Father producer is here. What was I about to say?
It's been a whole year.
Don't cuss.
Yes.
Yeah, don't curse. Oh, do we have New Year's resolutions? Yes, I do.
Ooh. My only New Year's resolution for 2024 was to be sexier. Check.
I'm not here every day.
No, that was my only. I didn't write anything else down.
I'm saying every year, every day.
Oh, yes, it continues exponentially as we age. 2025. Boundaries. I feel like discipline was last year. I haven't really put anything concrete. I had a vision board party with some friends, but I feel like
your vision board's cute.
Yeah, my birthday is in February, so I feel like that's when I'll really like cement my actual goals and just like revisit that in a couple months after, like seasonally change it as it goes. But I definitely want to figure out. This year's just figuring it out. Last year was just like move and be like open to change and adjusting. 2025 is like a lot's changing, so I need to like be rooted in myself. I'm really prioritizing listening to my intuition this year because I think a lot is going on around me, and I am very intuitive, so I want to be able to like hear myself clearly amongst all the noise.
Yeah, literally. And that's something we've talked about a lot. I was gonna say, I'm not someone who typically that's annoying. Not someone who typically is. You think it looks fine without it?
Let's see.
What is it?
You might just wanna. I feel like we've talked about that a lot this year. In the past couple, in general, in the past couple months or whatever, just your intuition in general, being able to. What do you look for?
I lost my pen. It's over here. Keep going. Sorry.
I'm gonna need to not click this to overstimulate myself.
Listen to your intuition.
But yeah, that's one that we've definitely talked about. But I feel like in general, I suck at making New Year's resolutions. Like I tend to be a lot more go with the flow and just let what happens. But I can be a lot more intentional about the decisions that I'm making and what my goals are. But yeah, discipline in general is the first one that, if I had to say, I've been thinking about for a long time.
Discipline constantly.
I need to work.
Like if you go back an entire year ago, when I was talking about like working at having no assistant, being my own boss essentially, and not having any checks and balances, I was like, this is the year I learned discipline. Here we are a whole year later.
Yeah. And I do it in like phases. Like I need to figure out a consistent pace to go at that I can maintain for everything that I want to do. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like I phase it with
your goals.
Whatever I want. Yeah, goals is
that's why I said check in seasonally.
Whatever I need to be disciplined.
Every couple
I do
months,
it in phases.
Exactly.
Like working out is a good one. Like I do that in cycles, and then when I let myself
then you're done.
Chill. Then I just let myself chill. But partially because I know I'm gonna let myself get back. I'm gonna get back there whenever I want to get back there. Do you know what I mean?
I will say I don't have my 2025 resolutions concrete written down yet, but I think putting pen to paper and it makes it a lot easier to check in on yourself and hold yourself accountable, because sometimes you forget. I can sit here today and say, hey, this is what I want to accomplish, this is what I'm going to do, but it almost feels so like rewarding when you go back and say, even when you don't feel like you're working towards something. It'll be like in January I said I wanted to be more disciplined, or I wanted to hit, and then when you come back in March it's like, oh, wait a minute.
No, literally, that's true.
I was moving, even though it felt a little bit like I was being stagnant.
I've been using my notes app, but I need to be a little bit more organized in there.
In your notes app?
Yeah, but I do love going back there and I've been putting like my dreams.
How so?
Like just recording things, and I haven't actually gone to look this past year to see, but it is interesting to read back.
When
I've been putting all my dreams and chronological order. I did write. Actually, I should check on my phone because I did write a couple of goals for this year.
Dreams are a hard one because I started voice recording my dreams.
Yeah, because I tried that, but I can't.
I have to. It's faster because if I take the time to like type it out, first off, I'm waking up, I'm groggy. You can borrow my pen. Yeah, that's mine. But I wake up, I'm groggy. But if I find myself typing it out, I find that as I'm transcribing it, I'm adding. It's like I'm writing a book. I'm like editing and changing things that happen in the dream that I'm like just so I can put it down. Versus if I just talk. Even if it's gibberish, at least I can hear myself back and be like, oh, that was gibberish. So this was what actually happened.
I have a question because I've used the voice recording app before and it's not like concise. It's not easy for me to go back and listen to. It's kind of boring for me to go back and listen to. I almost prefer to go back and read back what I would write.
I don't really go back to either of them.
Really?
I don't really, I mean, but for me, the voice memo is easier to go back to because in the voice memo, I'll tell myself, be like, oh, wait, that's not what actually happened. This is what happened. Versus in the dream, if I'm trying to write it chronologically, it's like I can't really edit unless I go back and say, "Oh, this is what happened." And who's trying? If it's like 5 a.m., I just woke up. I'm trying to remember the dream. But Mommy was saying something about like praying before bed and then praying again. And because for me, my dreams are very prophetic. Like whether it's for myself or someone else, like I need to remember my dreams. It's like foreshadowing for my life if I don't remember. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, this was the day that I called you. Remember I was telling you I felt like the deep sense of like pure joy. I was actually like
that picture looks like pure joy.
It literally was because I was driving past. Remember I was telling you it was really
Virginia is for lovers.
It was really cute. I was driving and I had just seen. Oh, can we say names? I had just seen our cousins. John and
yeah.
So it was just back to back, just such a good like day back. It was crazy in the car. I almost was shaking how happy I was.
Wait. I want to do a year because it's been an entire year since we spoke on this platform. I want to do a recap of like where we
have some goals this year. I almost don't want to say them out loud because I literally
didn't accomplish.
The year just started. This is what I'm doing. I have been tracking for this year.
Oh.
I do need to say them out loud though, so I can force myself. But these are rigid. Okay, so I started up with no drinking outside of special occasions.
That went out the window.
Oh, that's
That's
facts. That's so funny. That's facts. And I wrote keep track of cheat days. Also, I think I started writing these down. In 2024 when I was thinking,
that's why I'm like trying to think of
year's coming. Yeah, like what do I want to do?
What I did now.
Actually, I should read these.
A lot of these goals were mine last year. I mean, not play tennis. Who's trying to do
no smoking? I do want to do that one. Yeah. I should do one or the other. I should be hard on myself for one or the other.
Is it because I'm someone who's very black and white? So where do you fall in terms of like can you accomplish both? Or do you need something to do in like a social setting to like alleviate or like what I'm saying?
I don't need it. I've just never had a hard set reason for no reason to not do it unless, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't ever have like I should or should not. I'm just like in moderation and I do it sometimes. It's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
So I've always been like lax with myself, but if I think about it long term, it's like, really.
I mean, think about what you want to do. Because for me, for context, I didn't drink for a lot of last year. I started in September. I started in like March or May, if I'm being honest, of 2024, of 2023. Of 2023, May 2023, I stopped drinking. September of 2023 was like my hard because between then I was like, don't drink, like it tastes like poison. And then I was like, I do it every now and then. And then September was like when I really started. And then sometime into 2024, after like right before my year mark, maybe around 9 months after that, I started drinking a little bit again. But it was almost essentially over a year of like. So wait, I had a takeaway of saying this. The hard stop between May and September was what was difficult for me. So like finding out what I drank when we went to the wedding in April. I had 2 glasses of wine because it's like. I am very black and white. I'm like, that's something that worked for me to just say no drinking. Because if I do maybe I drink, then I'm just going to drink. Because there's an occasion to drink. You go out with your coworkers, everyone's like, drink, now I'm drinking. You go out to a wedding, everyone's drinking, now I'm drinking. You go, everything becomes a special occasion if you say, I'll drink on special occasions. This year I started drinking again. I told myself I'll just drink like wine because wine is like I'm not gonna go out and party and drink wine. You know what I mean? It's like
I do that now though, but I can also go out and party.
So
and
not
drink
alone
wine.
with wine, and then only wine. I drank sake this evening, which was. What can I say? What can I say?
I could very much go out and drink with wine,
but like less hard. Yeah, but that's fine. But like, if I'm out, it's like the social setting is like, okay, let's throw back tequila shots. Let's do, you know what I mean? Versus like,
it's more geared towards that.
Like, there's only so much wine you could drink at a night out. Like,
because I'm having a glass of wine and going to sleep.
Yeah, that's the relationship with alcohol that I was like.
No, that's facts. So the special occasions note is actually
because everything can be geared towards a special occasion. It's your friend's birthday. That's special. Like,
I need to have a good way to measure it. And I was telling myself like weddings or parties because that's really it.
But
like,
even weddings become everyone's getting married. And still, that's only no, but it's also like
you're not gonna be at a wedding every weekend.
I get that, but it also becomes a like, if you don't drink at all and then you're drinking on special occasions, that becomes like a
jarring thing.
Now I'm drinking.
Yeah, but that would be the moderation. That would be like the okay, just have a glass or two or three because
like you can fit the vibe, but it's like don't
because you're not going to be
you're
not going to be able to withstand anymore.
No,
we'll see. I don't know. This is the thing, and
you don't know. You're just figuring it out.
I let myself then be
a goal.
Lucid it, but anyway, this one I'm not gonna say out loud.
Yeah, I get it.
But I did have some bucket list ones that I started writing down. I still need to learn Spanish, French, or
I want to learn French. Your mother is not a willing participant. She's not a teacher that I want to learn.
She remembers for like one or two sentences and then forgets the goal.
My mom speaks French.
Yes,
she speaks all these languages that
she
I
does.
need to know.
It's very selfish of her to be having 5 languages of her body, and where's mine?
I know she doesn't speak Spanish, but
she no, I've asked her.
Yeah, we know. I wanted her to practice. We asked her to only speak to us in Chui and Fanti. It hasn't worked.
It hasn't. Be better at that.
Yeah,
actually, yeah.
If you want to hang out with her,
yeah,
that would be helpful. Actually,
I told myself I want to start horseback riding.
That's so weird. Like, where did that come from?
It's so random. And it's like the tennis thing. I just feel like I would literally love that.
If we start the apocalypse, I think riding a horse would be a very helpful skill set when we run out of gas and natural resources.
I literally feel like I would love that so much.
Get on that.
I've been looking it up.
I just do horseback riding. You know?
Really?
I can see that. Of course he did.
That's so funny.
Horses used to terrify me. Like the feeling of such a large animal underneath you is like very intimidating. But I like that. I could get into that with you.
I literally. That's what I told you. That's what I wanted to do for my birthday. But I thought, let's do a swap.
And you're correct.
Yeah.
Because if you asked me to do that, I would have been like, everyone have a good time. Ew! Not the too loud. Please.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm glad I thought about that because that's a
good starting point.
Yeah, I did have some stuff that I guess I've been thinking about, but in general, I tend to be a little bit too go with the flow. Some of these are my.
You have my pen, so I need yours.
Where did I put mine?
In between your legs.
That quickly.
Yeah. It's right there.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't just grab it. So urine. I don't know if anyone remembers. About a year ago, we sat down. We talked about romantic relationships. I sat. Well, we were in a new locale. We're in our dad's apartment.
Not giving.
But I sat here, and I said, I think I'm gonna fall in love this year. I wasn't dating. I was celibate for about a year. Honestly, the year of sobriety, celibacy, everything was all in. I think I felt like my 13-year-old Christian self. I said, not having sex.
You said that last year.
Because I was doing all of it in conjunction. I was like, it's giving Christian girl out of. It's giving.
You literally said that last year.
Because I felt like when I was introducing myself to people, especially people who didn't know me prior, it felt like it's like, oh, I don't drink. Yeah. Oh, I'm not doing that. Oh, I'm not. I said, Jane, what do you do? Like, what? Damn. But I wasn't dating. But it forced me to like go out. I was taking myself on dates. I was out in public, so I wasn't on any apps. I guess we fell in love in 2024. Shout out to my boyfriend. On a. But I literally, I was on Hinge for exactly 1 week. We had a wedding in April. Let me just tell our little story while we're here, people, let's just
The wedding love story is actually
we had a wedding in London, and I thought, yeah, sure, it's a family wedding, but if I'm gonna go to London, I might as well meet a boy and someone could show me around the town. Delusional girl. I am. But sometimes I'm right. I was right. Was I not right? So I downloaded Hinge. It blows me. It blows me because I had no apps. I think literally in the episode a year ago, I downloaded Bumble. Cassandra and I were like, let's practice dating. Let's put ourselves out there. I did not set up my profile. I did not make an account. Sorry, it was too tedious, and men are just not that enticing. But I downloaded Hinge because Hinge is the only one where you can put your location elsewhere. So about 3 or 4 days before we left, I downloaded it. I matched with like 5 dudes in London. I was having genuine conversations to be like, okay, who's around? This is the date I'll be there. Like, what's good to do in the city? XYZ. In the 5 minutes, I was still at my apartment, matched with 2 men. One of them was in the city for like a work trip and was going elsewhere. I was like, anyway, wasting my time. I remember looking at my boyfriend's profile for a good 30 seconds. He was in my matches. I was just staring at him like, this isn't like my usual type. He's a beautiful face. Love it. But I was like, what do I do with this? I remember he had something about Love Island, caught my attention. To this day, I wish I could go back to his profile and look, but I literally wish you actually had screenshots of it. What said yes?
He just posted something the other day that was almost those three markers.
Really?
And Love Island was one of it, and it literally just clicks. And I do wish you guys had screenshots.
What pulled me in? And he had pictures of
the Love Island one.
It was him, and you know how guys have pictures of like their sisters, but it still gives like douchebag. He had sisters with 2 of his female friends that I know now. And I just was like, this is getting wholesome. Like, he had Love Island, he had that, and I was just like, okay, matched with him. This man lives 5 minutes away from me. Everything's convenient. As I was about to fly out of the country, I remember we went on a date that Tuesday. We were flying out. Yes, because we were flying out Thursday. We were going to that. We had that date on Tuesday, and I just remember thinking, I'm not packed, and I really shouldn't go on this date. I wasn't even feeling well. I was a little sick, but I don't like to cancel on a date. I said, once you put that in stone, show up for the things you said you'd be there for. It was a great date. It was amazing. I said, well. And I remember being on the date. Because when you go hang out with your family, this one over here was getting interrogated about her love life. I'm just like, I'm not dating. Meanwhile, not knowing, I knew.
You literally called it.
I knew well that was going to be my boyfriend. But I said, yeah, Sandra, what is your dating life like? Yeah, guys, ask Sandra again. What is she? You know what? I just went on a date with my boyfriend 2 days ago. The man yet to be.
Literally yet to be named.
Delusional girl, but I knew it. I told him to follow me on Instagram so he could watch my traveling escapades and remember that I'm stunning. Remember who you went on the date with.
Yeah, this was at the beginning.
It was great.
I thought you meant now.
Met him 2 days before we left for London. I had to Hinge for a week.
And it's crazy because the way that wedding was very much...
That wedding was a matchmaking affair. It was... Please. I don't know. It was fun. I loved that wedding. That wedding was
a time.
It was good.
That wedding was a time. Like, I actually am just reminiscing.
He loves London. He loves like, what am I thinking of? UK rap. Like, we're very but we also watch Love Island, so that makes sense.
What was it?
He had 3 distinct things on his profile that I was like, okay, we're very similar. This guy, like, we could at least have a good chat. And I knew it right before when I was like, I'm gonna fall in love this year. I was like, this person is gonna come out of left field. They're not gonna be my typical type. Like, it's. But I made. Okay, so in our last podcast, we talked about like how when you're in a relationship that may not be the right person for you, it's easy to like not self-reflect if the other person has larger, louder flaws than you. And oh my goodness, let me tell you, this is my very first, like, I'll say legitimate relationship. Ooh. The mirror is right here. The mirror is right here. I see myself loud and clear. My flaws are very visible to me, myself, and I. And it's, I don't know what it is, but I'm grateful for it.
Do you feel like you guys are able to, like, work through those things or discuss or discover those things together?
Yes. I think that's the one takeaway, is because in my last relationship I felt very like not alone, but it was just like me validating my own feelings. Like if I'm right, like Jane's gonna say I'm right, versus like now you have another person. Even if they're not, they can still validate your feelings, but they have feelings of their own and a whole perspective that they're sharing. So I think just the fact that we're both willing to like learn and grow at the same time is like, that's all you can really ask for. It might be him. The world is overwhelming right now. Like a lot is going on. He's very overwhelmed with a lot of his own stuff, and I'm overwhelmed with a lot of my own stuff. But the fact that we're still like actively showing up, love each other, and just working through it, like whatever.
Literally.
Like I'll do it, I guess.
It's so funny because I remember when you were so like adamant about not dating someone your age.
Bro, that's what it was. I stared at his picture for so long because he was my age. I said,
it's so
this
funny.
Is a lot for me.
It's really funny. I love hearing you talk about it now.
Because we're going through the same things at the same time.
Literally, because that is the beauty of it. And that you couldn't really think about it at the time.
I just wanted a comfortable situation. Yeah. Sorry if I wanted a man well established in his career and chilling out.
It's like you got all of the opposite things that you had in the last situation.
Very much the opposite things, but it forces me to see myself.
You have to maneuver, exactly. You have to force and maneuver.
Because who am I to be upset with you that you're
things that
like he's like you're going through this similar things as me. You also struggle with this. You also like
you have to give grace. Yeah, you literally have to give grace to yourself.
Give grace to myself.
To them. Yeah, literally.
Yeah, genuinely.
Yeah.
But I was right. I wish I basked in my singlehood and my self dating. But look at me. I used to go to this my solo date, and when I lived in Arlington was this cute Indian restaurant in DC. So now I'm gonna go take him to all the places I took myself on solo dates. He wants to see DC and a lot of what's on the East Coast while he's out here.
That'd be nice. Do you drive into the state when you go?
We're gonna take the train.
We won't be able to do that. That was a sad thought, but yeah. So we did last year. We talked a lot about dating. I don't really remember where I was with dating at the time, but I feel like
you said it's
always been up and down, and I not to sound negative about it, but I feel like dating is always in the trenches, just because. But I shouldn't even say that because I haven't had like negative experience with dating, so I'm being dramatic. I'm being negative.
At the time, literally last episode, you said, I don't know, I don't want to rehash everything, but you said you had just spoken. You were in a space where you're very ready and open to like give love and willing to receive it. So you know you're in a space where you can express your boundaries and just like live. Whereas I feel like now you're definitely in that space.
Yeah, that's even more true.
Like even more so. But you also said you had spoken to some guy that essentially verbalized that he had a lot of animosity in his heart based on a past relationship, and he wasn't ready to date, but he was willing to try. And you said,
"Oh yeah, oh my gosh, yeah." Yes. And that was on like our first like FaceTime date before we had even met. And that's why I was like, see, my friends ask me all the time why like you FaceTime first or meet, or why you text for a little bit before, like why the stages exist. Yeah. And that's exactly why, because why should I wait and get ready and come meet you for dinner for you to say that? That's crazy. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your honesty. I appreciate it.
That's exactly what I said. I said I really appreciate you telling me that, to be honest with you. I'm empathetic to whatever it may have been that you went through, but I'm not here for the test trial.
Oh, that you're laughing, kidding me.
Like, no.
Oh my god.
So yeah, last year we talked about dating. So what is new for you this year? Is what we want to talk about.
I'm in love and I'm struggling and I'm learning about myself and him.
You're not struggling.
I'm not struggling. Listen. I am perfect and without flaw. Finding out that you're not perfect and without flaw is very difficult.
Jane. Be so
serious. But I am being serious, because when I say like listen, me and God, we had a conversation. I said, show me 1, 2, 3. When I meet the man I met to be with, I met this man. God said 1, 2, 3, and I'm grateful that He did, because I'm a quitter through and through. I'm Brazilian. I will stick it out. But I'm loyal is the word I should use. But I'm a quitter. I want to run. My fight, flight, freeze, flight all the way through and through.
That's right.
So if I didn't, if I didn't know that was someone that I was meant to be with, I feel like when it got difficult initially, I would have cut and run. But I'm like, this is hard, and you're my age, and we're both struggling. I gotta go. Feel like there's easy, and that's another thing that we also spoke about this last year, where we were like, men think that if you're not with them, you want to go be with someone better. You want to go be with your ex. I was celibate and alone for a year. Now you're in my apartment, you're in my space, I'm sharing like communion with you, like you're just here. The alternative is you're not here. It's not that I'm gonna replace you, I'm gonna find someone better. The alternative is I get to be with myself in my own solitude.
My sanity, yeah.
Right.
Literally.
I don't have to accommodate anyone. I know exactly how I want things. So it's difficult in the sense that it's just different. Like you have to like be receptive to someone else being in your space and you're sharing that company, but it's worth it. Like
yeah,
just learning.
Because the thing is, at the end of the day, it's literally the basic of like being in a relationship. It takes energy, it takes time and space to like relate to somebody to that extent. You know what I mean? And we've talked about this. Like you're merging two whole different experiences, so that takes time and effort. But I mean, you have to where boundaries come in as well. You have to decide how much space and energy you're going to give to certain things at certain times. But like you said, it's worth it. So you guys are gonna keep investing that time. That's what you want to do. You actually don't have a choice.
We actually have to talk about boundaries because there was that one week where both you and him were overwhelming me at the same time. And the takeaway from that was just like we're learning each other because you were overwhelming. Okay, so I'll just dive into it. So there was a week I had started this new job. I was overwhelmed with work. Like I also, for context, my boyfriend is in a master's program. So I think it was summer at the time. So he had a lot of free time. It was just like, and it couldn't have been summer. He had just ended school break. He was right before he went to his internship. So he had a lot of free time, just wanted to hang out with me, but I was like overwhelmed. And I would just insert him in every space because obviously I just wanted to hang out. So you came to my apartment. You were hanging out with your friends, but you came to my apartment. We're just running around, running amok. I called him, and I was also just like trying to get some time to speak with him in the 10 minutes of free time I had in my day. I was overwhelmed. And my sister was in my space, and she knew she was overwhelming me. She knew. And he didn't realize he was overwhelming me. But I also didn't acknowledge that I was overextending myself. So in having someone who knows me, like she came to me, she's like, she literally, I think I was on my bed trying to take a 10-minute nap before I had to go do something else. She's like, I'm so sorry, I'm in your space. Like, I'm gonna be out in 5 minutes. Like,
and it's actually crazy because I will walk in and
hey Jane,
I stain stuff, take stuff, I take her clothes all the time. I knew that weekend she was working up, like I could tell, and we're sisters. Yeah. I literally know her so well. I knew you were so overwhelmed that weekend.
Yeah. Versus his reaction
you were being so accommodating.
Yes.
Like you guys also had a lot going on together as well, but I was just staying there because that weekend was convenient for the activities that I was doing that weekend, remember?
If honestly, in reflecting on this, I think that honestly may have been it. So like in the early stages of our relationship, I was so accommodating that I don't think he realized that I was overstaying myself. And how would he realize if I didn't communicate that? So having someone like my sister also doing the same thing at the same time and seeing her reaction versus his was very much like, you're just getting to know each other. Yeah. Like obviously he doesn't know that about you, but also what you're presenting isn't sustainable and you know that it's not sustainable. So you need to communicate that, express that. This is a stranger. He's getting to know you. You're getting to know him. Like, it's not to be assumed. This girl has had 2.5 decades of education on what it is to be with Jane. So, can't expect someone to know that in a couple months.
Yeah, literally.
Boundaries. Add that to the 2025 to do.
Yeah, facts. I cannot get over this view. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna say it for the record in the middle of this episode. I'm hating and forgetting how much I hate being on this camera. I really do. I can really feel your turn it off. I really do, but
you can wrap it up.
No, I do want us to keep talking. Mm-hmm. I'm just actively reminding myself to take long, deep breaths because I hate this.
Yeah.
But
okay, let me.
Okay. What are we talking? Resolutions?
No, you talked
Oh,
about.
we said boundaries, intuition, discipline is what we've talked about this year, 2025. Those are definitely on mine as well.
Intuition
We had
heavy.
talked a lot about your, like, amongst ourselves, about your, like, growth and the things that you're learning in your relationship so far. It's so fun and beautiful to see a little bit because I just feel like this is genuinely like your first real relationship.
It's hilarious.
It's
so funny.
It is hilarious
It's
because
very
if
funny.
you literally wake up every morning and look at yourself, you are so stunning. You're so
Yes.
sexy. You do no wrong, legitimately, and you're having to really, for the first time, make yourself malleable. And it's so interesting to hear. Like, it's very interesting every conversation.
But
we
it's
have,
also
hearing you like.
because it's a whole.
You're
it's a
actually
whole
struggling
different-
with
I'm
this?
struggling because I am so. The funny part is, as much as I could, I'm so stubborn. This man is so
Like,
stubborn.
you've literally met your match.
So
it's so funny.
It's like
to
a balance
watch.
of like, okay, what are the things that I'm not flexible on? Yeah, I might be stubborn, but I'm also very like I can adapt. I'm not like, but some things I will not adapt on. So where do we go from here?
Yeah, and it's a hard balance
Some
of.
things are just me. So like we can discuss like how this might not sit well with you and this might not sit well with me. But also,
this is
where's
what
the
it
line
is.
of you also have to be
Yeah.
yourself and I have to be myself? Like,
Yeah,
there's compromise there. It's funny. I have to laugh.
you really
I
do.
have to laugh.
It is a fine line though, having to figure out how much to stand on
But it's
certain things or how much to compromise. Because relationships are compromised too.
And it's also just like, because our last episode we talked about boundaries, we talked about relationships, we talked about like boundaries in relationships and like having separate rooms and like
yeah,
we wound up saying like if someone like her who honestly like I can have an hour-long conversation with her and it's like I could have been exhausted, I could have been depleted, but I'm like, oh, here to get re-energized. Like everything's good.
literally.
If even someone like that I need space from, you're gonna need space from.
You're gonna need space.
You're gonna need
And
space
my
from
friends and I keep having this conversation, and I just don't get why my opinion feels like drastic. But it's like, is it not normal to think that when you're literally having to merge two whole people, like that's like going back to being a roommate with your sibling
I
in the same
genuinely
place for the same house for the
rest of your life is crazy.
That's insane
It's
to
crazy.
me. And you tell me I can't have my own room.
And
my
this
own
one
closet?
doesn't even snore. Like, come
Like,
on
don't-
now. Like men
that's
are
so
men.
upsetting to me. That is the number one reason I don't want to do it.
Do you know what's crazy?
What do you mean?
I keep looking at my gold mirror, right? It's this beautiful gold mirror from like Sam's Club or
They can't even
Costco.
decorate. They just come in.
No, he gave me full decoration autonomy, okay?
They come in dirty everything.
Like, no, bro. But I'm like, even if I can decorate our space, like I wouldn't decorate it the same way if a man's living there. Like, out of respect for you, but like now I have to think, how does that beautiful gold mirror fit in our communal space?
Like, it's just it is energy. Back to what we were talking about earlier. It's energy. It's space. Like that's what the base of a relationship is. You have to like figure out what pieces of yourself you're willing to carve out to fit that person in. So it is quite literally work. It is quite literally like,
and it's conscious.
Work.
Like, you have to remember. But I also think like to give your friends and like people the conversation that you may have this conversation with grace is also like, for me, I can talk about all the things I would do in a relationship, like hypothetically, but once you meet someone, it's like, not that it all goes out the window, but now how is it applicable to the situation with you and them and how you both present yourself? It's very much like, okay, now how do we move and how do we work? And then you're also two individuals with your own upbringing, with your own experiences, with your own emotions and traumas, like.
I forgot what we were saying earlier, and I should have wrote it down so I could.
Boundaries, separate rooms,
but
intuition.
Kind of about just like the energy and like carving out space and making space for someone. Deciding what you're gonna stand on, what you're gonna be stubborn about, what you're gonna release on. You know, that whole dance that you have to then learn to do in a relationship. I feel like it's funny because we keep talking about this, but yours is very much having to not decide when to speak and say your truest thoughts.
Do you know what's crazy? Because he's
literally your match. Look at it.
Respectfully, verbally it's like, you're my big sister. Verbally, I could scrap, so you're right. But I've also become very good at like honestly just communicating, because again, I shut down, I clam up. So you can't force me to speak when it's on your terms, because then if I say immediately what my first thought is, now we're both upset.
I don't mean you've met your match in that you're the same.
It just requires me to deliver
your match.
it.
Yes, you have to do the work to meet the person on the other side. Like you
You're
very
correct.
much wanted the
because anyone else, like I could just they just accept it.
literally.
But yeah. No, you're right. You're right. So, but again, everybody has to go on a dance.
But it's a fun, beautiful dance to watch.
But again, like it's very much you have to do your like we are in a relationship, but it's very I can only control what I can control. He can only control what he can control. Like we can have conversations about it repeatedly, but
true. But you get in also relationships, and to a certain extent have to help each other work through the stuff that you.
You're struggling with.
Yeah, the stuff that you have picked up as a result of your childhood, those experiences that you're both carrying is what is going to create the baggage that you're going to create something new with. So, like, to a certain extent, you can't expect each other to hold on to it alone. You have to help each other, but yes, it does take a certain level of self-accountability and self-awareness to discover your own stuff. And I don't know, communicate it and like
so much communication.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
I've never talked so much in my life.
Decipher that to somebody. But I do think there's an aspect of it where you should and can rely on your partner for some of that like work and like healing, I feel like. I don't know. But yeah. Dating.
So much is I'll be so honest. Because the state of our nation, the thought of men, it feels
insidious. Insidious.
And I have to remind myself, I love him, he's great, everything's amazing. But actually, this is perfect because I looked at him this morning and I was literally like, on the subject of intuition, I literally looked at him this morning and I was like, if my spirit tells me to move, I need you to be up and ready. I don't need any yappa yappa in my ear. I need you to be up and ready.
And I kind of want to use that to segue into what we were talking about earlier in terms of like listening to your intuition and like things that have changed in terms of 2025. Moving this year, that is literally something that has been like front of my brain.
To listen to your intuition, there's so much noise.
Because the place that I've landed in moving is so meticulous and so intentional. Yeah, that it's so scary to me. And then the way that the world had just flipped like that is crazy.
It has
really just proven to me, yeah, you can try to control everything you want. You can try to set goals, that's a little bit dramatic, but you can try to prepare for things. But sometimes things are just gonna happen the way that they're meant to happen. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I just got distracted with this whole moment, but
yeah,
it's really forced me to think about the fact that you very much cannot control.
And I'm not good at like long-term foresight. Like I can try and imagine what the next year, next 2 years, next 4 years might look like. Well, you don't know unless you don't.
I think I was so adamant I wanted to buy something. I was so adamant I wanted to where I wanted to move. I think I was considering all these different options. I'm not that good.
If I'm honest with you, I don't think I would have let you.
I'm not that good at like if I don't feel like my body moving towards it or feel like closest to it, I don't necessarily move towards it.
Yeah.
But when I do want to do that, I move quickly. I move impulsively.
You're very impulsive.
So it's dangerous.
And I feel like I'm the checks and balances.
Yeah,
it's dangerous. Big purchases. Impulsive. But I'm like, well, you didn't even sit with that.
Like, did you even question whether it really should have been the decision? Or the final decision.
And you have the means in which to actually
do that all the time.
It's so stuff. Annoying. Like I was over here looking for houses, but just knowing I have money. Why is she over here like getting approved for mortgages? I said,
sit down. And it's so funny because it's like that's when I'm like I need to just chill.
And she was trying to go buy houses in the suburbs. Like, who do you have friends out there? Where are you going?
Just to be stuck.
Where are you going?
So I can be there for this for your president to be here for them to come out with their gun
Where are you going? Please. And I live.
The universe God said, yeah, right. Take your butt to.
I told
to
you.
The city.
I told you.
And go rent.
Liquid
But to
cash,
be
that's what
honest,
you need.
no, but to be honest, I don't know all these segues that we went on, but I did not write anything down.
It's okay.
But this move has literally really taught me, even living by myself, has literally forced me to see that so clearly. What is supposed to happen will literally happen. Will literally land at your doorstep. Try if you want it. But guess what? You have to be so in tune with your body
Yes.
and what you are supposed to be feeling that you don't question it. Or you end up with probably was what I do, reckless movements based on the universe.
That's okay. It works for you. Like,
but I very much
as you know that about yourself, yeah.
And I trust it when I land there. I'm never like stuck on results of something. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like I don't even know how to explain it.
You're
Do
not
you feel
married to like the end result? Like
Yeah.
whatever gets you there just gets you there.
Yeah. Like I'm not. I don't know.
That's also in alignment with my mindset for 2025 is just being untethered, like willing to like adapt and that's very much aligned with you. That's why I'm grateful we didn't purchase anything. I'm grateful that if I need to cut and run, I'll be willing to do that. Like I don't know what like 6 months from now looks like, so let's like just be
if I think about it, I'm really grateful for that trait of mine, to be honest with you, because like I don't get emotionally attached to those things. Like you have to be able to move.
I think this year really is the year of offloading.
It is, yeah.
Go donate your stuff.
Yeah.
Go like I don't need that much to my name. What I need to do is update my passport.
But also, this year's about to be crazy.
That's what I'm.
Every time I think about it, you actually can't think about it because it feels like there's too much that you didn't think about.
I can't intake it all.
It's too much.
Enough. I did what I could.
And it's like there's so much. None of it is positive. That it's like it's not even worth thinking about anymore. Should I just choose to be depressed today or what? What do you mean? What else do you mean? Okay, so moving for me is one of my changes this year. Or one of my big changes. Are we doing like updates?
I've been at the job I started for a year, so that for me, I didn't know. New love, new relationship, 0 to 100.
That should be. New job for me.
Oh yeah, Sandra went from wanting to go back to school and open her own private practice. Now she's continuing on in the career she started with.
I still think
the world is your oyster. You
I literally still think time. That would be something I would.
Infinite time. Can't wait for my free therapy sessions.
I didn't tell you I met this girl when I went to.
Yes, you did tell me.
I told you about that.
Tell people.
I don't know that I want to relive the whole story.
She met a woman that's living her dream.
Yeah, and it was just such a crazy experience landing there that weekend and meeting her and the conversations that we were having and like the way she talked about like when I was explaining to her.
Tell them what she does.
Oh, so she's like she's just a counselor. She's a psychologist, but she does pretty much what I went to school for and pivoted thinking. So it was just really funny because we had such good conversations about just like everything that I was anticipating as a fear of why I didn't do it when I pivoted in school and went for my master's. She was just talking about how she's kind of navigated that in her career, how she had no lawyers when she first opened her practice. She made a lot of mistakes. She did that, overwhelmed herself at the beginning as well. She made all the mistakes that I was talking about. Yeah. She's like, I have adjusted it. I have figured out how to make myself safer, and now it literally just works for me. Like, and the way she was talking was making me so much fun. I'm like, literally, that's crazy. You just curated like the perfect space for yourself, and she's so passionate about it. She just like she helps all of her friends open it. Her friends too literally had the same stopped going. She has a best friend who stopped going to school, same thing, pivoted a little bit and was nervous to open her private practice. Once she did, she's like, dude, I will help you through every step. Like, and now her and her other best friend did it together and started a private practice together, and she helped them through all of it, through all the things that she struggled with. She said, yeah. I was like, it's so beautiful. She's like, I don't give therapy to men. I don't counsel men. It's literally, I talk to Black women. I do what, you know what I mean? I don't know. It was just such a beautiful encounter. It was crazy. And it's one of those things, like I keep saying, like, I just know God lands me at the places I need to be when I need to be there. So that's why I say, like, I very much still think that's top of my brain. Like, if I think about what I would genuinely love to do, but it's just like, do I want to make that investment in life? Because I'm also at a point in my career where I could grow and invest and make good money in what I'm doing. Like I've already invested in corporate America. Do you know what I mean? Like I made that pivot intentionally. Do you know what I mean? So
people love to like push entrepreneurship. Me, I like rules. I like structure. I like insurance. Rules. Like, it's okay. Like,
but the flexibility, bro, that she was talking about would be such a dream. The flexibility of like being able to actually mold that the way that you want would be beautiful. And I do think that to a certain extent, I don't think that I should discount because what I was viewing as a fear before, which is like making your passion what you think you would be the most naturally good at, your career, could also be the most beautiful. Do you know what I mean? Like, also that dichotomy could be the most beautiful thing if you make it exactly how you want it to be. So I literally don't know. It would just it would be an intentional point in my life to make that pivot. And it's hard to think about that right now because I've also making pivots in my career. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But
I mean, I don't know what that looks like for myself career-wise. Like, and people, this is the time when people love to ask you, what do you want to do? Exactly. I don't know. Did you know at 26? Please.
No, but it's really enlightening, or it's really heartwarming to hear the conversation we're having with Auntie, with our aunt, where she was saying like, or I don't know if it was a conversation you were having or you were just saying like
they were just talking about their careers, like,
when they didn't figure it out.
My uncle went to law school in his 30s, like they already had like 2 kids at the time. I said, okay, so everyone, and he worked in like a slew of other fields prior to that. I said, so you spent all your 20s like doing stuff that doesn't apply to what you do now. So perfect. Sounds good to me.
She was saying how there are a lot of ways that she was thinking, or there's a lot of creative ways that she's thought about actually merging like the two fields that I'm in. That was a really interesting, fun conversation.
I also genuinely, when I first started working in skilled nursing, I thought about the ways that all of our careers could really like align in the future if we were to like make some sort of business together as a family. And I was like everything happens for a reason. Like I could sit at this job every day and be like, oh, what is going on? Watch me be 35 and be like, oh, you needed to know this information. Literally. So go ahead and just take it in. There's some lesson to be learned here, some discipline to be honed in, like something. There's always something to take. And my boss told me last week, just saying, like, even if this is like you could be doing something entirely different in another phase of your life, this like something that you take something from this and apply it there. I was like, you're right. Thank you. Take that.
I would love to, to some capacity though, do something along those lines. But that's that on career.
I feel like this is good. Like I have nothing else to say. The world is a lot, but stay strong.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't get too deep into politics this time.
I actually didn't have. I have nothing really any commentary. I'm just. Welcome to the Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, I remember we did one episode where I don't remember what was going on at the time, but we really got into it, and we really got into it. I don't know if we ever posted it, but there was one where we actually got into it because I remember getting annoyed, and
I feel like we didn't post that. All I had was like Love Island, like
either way, yeah.
If we knew then what we know now.
Hello, Trump is your president.
I do want to discuss. I do not want to withhold discussion from, not on this page necessarily, but in general in life, withhold from discussing politics. I think that's what got us in the situation in the first place. Like we're so divisive and not having these conversations. And I'll be honest, I don't think I as a Black woman should be responsible for engaging in this. But like regardless, like I think just having candid conversations people to people, again, at least because like it's not, I don't care about Democrat and Republican anymore. I do care if you're stupid or not stupid, but I want us, like, people are going to be poor and starving. There's a million little viruses going around. When people don't have food, why are we discussing whether someone's Democrat or Republican? They're one and the same to me. One and the same.
And then it literally
it's money and no money.
Then it literally becomes
it's rich and poor,
vicious cycle that feeds the same problems that everyone's complaining about.
And billionaires. I'm begging us to get a grip. Because if we were really united, what happened? Anyway, but I do want us to, in real life, to have these conversations with our friends or families. Because what on earth is going on?
Right after the holidays too that's a funny disclaimer because that was a perfect time for us to be not that specific.
And your mother can't hear, so this audience member, did the cue cards go up too? He said,
What did you just say?
I said our grandpa can't hear. How are you supposed to have conversations?
No,
That's all I have to say. You have any closing remarks?
no, I've been done for about 5 minutes.
I love this episode. Welcome. We're gonna try being more consistent. We'll see.
It's been fun. It's been real.
It's
been real fun.
Yeah. Our first episode with a live studio audience member, a new locale.
Oh my gosh.
I had a good time. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Cut.